Hello guys! Welcome to my channel! Ating Cordeps and family! So ayan guys, talagang love na niya ang magbasa ng Bible. Ito babasa ulit siya.
Meron na akong isang Bible.
Kasi akala ko tapos na niya lahat yung lahat na ubos na niya lahat yung Bible niya. Kanina nagliligpit siya ng mga books niya. Books niya nung grade 2.
Yung grade 1 and grade 2?
Yeah. Nakita niya ito. Nakasama doon sa mga books niya. Ayan. Sabi niya, Mami, magbabasa ulit ako. Kaya ito, magbabasa ulit siya.
My Bible Friends, Book 9. Daniel and his friends. Wait. Daniel and the lions. Okay, let's start. This is the... My Bible Friends, Book 9. Daniel and his friends. Daniel and the lions. Okay, the first story is Daniel and his friends. His friends. It was noontime in the city of Jerusalem. The temple school for boys had been dismissed. Daniel and his 3 special friends were hurrying home to lunch when suddenly a trumpet sounded.
Saan?
Here, shrilled the trumpet. It was the noontime call to prayer 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. A priest came out on the temple porch and blew on a ram's horn, trumpet. It's time for prayers. Daniel turned about face toward the temple. His friends turned about face toward the temple. All the people of Jerusalem stopped whatever they were doing and faced toward the temple. Ow! With heads bowed, they prayed to the God of heaven. Home, Daniel's mother served pulse for lunch. Pulse is food like beans and vegetables. Brown bread, berries,
Dates. Dates.
berries and dates. Daniel liked pulse. Pulse would make him grow tall. Pulse would make him grow strong. Pulse would make him get good grades in school.
Nag-open ka dito. Ganyan.
Daniel, his 3 friends, and all the people of Jerusalem felt safe in their city. For hadn't the city a high stone wall around it? And were there not strong gates in the wall, with a watchtower above each gate, where watchmen kept watch day and night? If Daniel listened, he would hear the watchman call, "First watch, all is well. ... And later, second watch, all is well. ... And still later, third watch, all is well. ... But one day, all was not well. The watchman hurried out of the watchtower, blew a warning blast on his trumpet, and shouted, "An enemy approaches!" approaches. Quickly, the gates were shut and barred. Men mounted city walls. Boys climbed rooftops. Far away, so far that soldiers and camels looked like a line of creeping, crawling bugs, came the dread army, the feared army of Babylon. Closer, 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 the army came.
Saan ka, Babylon? Nasaan?
The army of Babylon pitched camp near Jerusalem. The soldiers built great battering ram machines and pushed them up beside the wall. Crash, crash, crash. All day long, the battering rams beat and battered the wall of Jerusalem. Crash, crash, crash. Finally, after many days, a part of the high stone wall gave way. The army of Babylon marched into Jerusalem. Some of the soldiers climbed the hill to the temple and took away the temple's golden vessels, as the king of Babylon had commanded them to do. Some soldiers stood guard while other soldiers took men and boys prisoners. They took Daniel and his 3 friends. The king of Babylon sat on his royal throne, while soldiers paraded the prisoners before him. Said the king to the captain of the army, "Choose boys from among the prisoners, goodly boys. Give them food from my table to eat, and give them of my wine to drink. They shall go to school for 3 years to learn the wisdom of Babylon." Daniel and his three friends were chosen.
Babylon?
Yes,
Babylon?
Babylon, I think. Prince Melzar was given charge over all the boys. That evening, Daniel and his friends talked together. "We cannot eat the king's food," said Daniel. "It has been offered to idols, and besides, the king's food is not the best food for boys. Neither can we drink the king's wine. What shall we do?" The boys asked one another. Then Daniel thought of a plan. Let's ask Melzar to give us pools to eat and water to drink instead of the king's food and wine. "It's a good plan," agreed the 3 friends. What is this? A dog? Is it a dog? Daniel and his friends went to see Prince Melzar. They bowed politely and asked for pools and water instead of the king's food and wine. Melzar shook his head. "No! If the king should see you looking thinner than the other boys and learn that I had given you pools and water, he might even cut off my head." Huh? Cut off my head. "Please try us for 10 days, begged Daniel. So Melzar agreed to give them pools and water for 10 days. "Then we shall see," he said. far from home, and there was no sound of a ram's horn trumpet to remind them they did not forget to pray. Morning, noon, and night, Daniel opened his window toward the temple back in Jerusalem and prayed to the God of heaven. Jerusalem. And prayed to the God of heaven. He asked God to bless the pools and water and to please let it make them strong, so that Melzar might know that pools and water were better for boys than the king's food and wine.
Dinig na dinig yung ML.
Nag-ML si Daddy. When the 10 days had passed, Prince Melzar called all the boys before him. He looked at their faces. He felt their arms. He found that Daniel and his friends were fairer and fatter than the boys who ate the king's food and drank the king's wine. So, ever after, during the 3 years of school, Prince Melzar gave Daniel and his friends pools to eat and water to drink. One, 2, 3 years went by. Why did my voice change? 3 years went by. School was over for Daniel and his friends. They had grown taller. Had they grown wiser, the king himself would test them. Daniel and his friends, dressed in clean clothes with hair combed and sandals polished, stood before the king of Babylon. The king asked them questions after questions, question after question. And lo, and then, ano yan?
Lo. The king found Daniel.
The king found Daniel and his 3 friends, T-E-N times wiser than all the wise men of Babylon.
10 times.
10 times. Okay, next story. Daniel and the lions. Okay? Many years had gone by since Daniel had been taken a prisoner to Babylon. He had grown to be a wise, good man. And now a new king sat